Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. Make sure you subscribe to the All This Math YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video. Go ahead, hit the button. All right. Make sure you drop a comment down below, or if you have a question, drop a question down below about anything that I'm about to explain as I explain it. Also, share this video with somebody. All right. And also, shout out to the Black female legends. Who we got here? We got Ida B. Wells. We got Rosa Parks. We got Asada Shakur. You got another picture of Asada Shakur right here. Matter of fact, it's the same pic. The pic of Asada Shakur I got up here is on this t-shirt. All right. We got Angela Davis on here. We got Harriet Tubman, Araminta Ross, I believe, was another name she went by. We got the late Frances Cress Welsing. We got Queen Mother Moore. We got, who else we got here? We got Shirley Chisholm, first black woman to run for president back in 1972. Congressman out of Barbados, I believe, through Brooklyn, or by way of Brooklyn, I should say. We got Mary McLeod Bethune, founder of what is current day Bethune-Cookman University down in Daytona Beach, Florida. Who else we got here? Sojourner Truth, probably most famous for her speech, Ain't I a Woman? And also we got, last but not least, Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer, a member of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, did a lot of work with SNCC in the 1960s in Mississippi on voter registration drives and a lot of other things too, not just voter registration drives, but work toward gaining, political power and political agency for black people in the state of Mississippi. All right. All people that we should all be familiar with. If you're not that familiar with them, go do your research. Go do your research, please. All right. Now, what are we doing here? We're about to simplify an expression that includes exponents, not only positive exponents, but negative exponents. So in order to successfully do this problem, we need to understand the properties of exponents, the properties of exponents. And this is part of what we're calling HSPT math. Now, HSPT is a standardized test. All right. The high school placement test is a standardized test that students in the 8th grade take, right? Students that attend Catholic schools and other parochial schools to find out where they stand in terms of their math ability and their understanding of pre-algebra, algebra 1, and geometry. All right. This is an example of the type of question that you might see on that exam. Of course, even if you don't attend Catholic school or parochial school, this is still algebra 1. This is still algebra 1, right? So even students in other schools need to have an understanding of algebra 1 concepts and topics like this. All right. So order of operations is always applicable, right? What's in the parentheses? 3 to the 4th power times 3 to the negative 5 power. Now we have threes, right? The bases are 3. The bases are 3. When your bases are the same and you're multiplying, what do you do to the exponents? That's the question. What do you do to the exponents? When you're multiplying, you add the exponents. You add the exponents. So number one, you need to know that rule or that property. That when your bases are the same and you're trying to multiply two things, you need to know what to do with the exponents. In this case, you add them. So you would do 4 plus negative 5. Number two, you need to know how to add positive and negative numbers. You got to know how to add positive and negative numbers. There ain't no way around it. And you don't need to ask Chat GPT. No, you don't need to ask Siri or Alexa. You don't even need a calculator. You should know how to do 4 plus negative 5. I have other videos on the channel which get into addition and subtraction of positive and negative numbers that can help you out with that. So what I like to do is I picture 4 on a number line, right? Adding a negative is the same thing as regular subtraction. So that means 4 plus negative 5 is the same thing as saying 4 minus 5. Again, 4 plus negative 5 is the same thing as saying 4 minus 5. They mean the same thing. They're equivalent. All right? Equivalent expressions. So if I'm on the number line, I start at 4. Whenever I subtract, I'm moving to the left. That way. Moving to the left. That way. Right? Now, how far am I going? I'm going 5 spaces. So 4 minus 5 means I start at 4 on the number line. I move to the left 5 spaces. That's another way to think about what 4 minus 5 actually means in terms of a number line. So if I start at 4 and I go 5 spaces to the left, that means I go 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. That's 5 spaces. Where I stop at, that's my answer. That's my answer. So this is going to become 3 to the negative 1 power. All right. So we got 3 to the negative 1 power. Right? This became that because 4 plus negative 5 is negative 1. You write the base one time. And now we bring this down. Divided by 3 to the negative 7. Now, Again, another exponent property. What happens when we divide and our bases are the same? When our bases are the same and we divide, what happens to the exponents? That's the question. What happens to the exponents? Now, when we multiply, we add the exponents. So what you think we're going to do when we divide? Isn't division the opposite of multiplication? It is. So ask yourself, what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So we're going to do this. We're going to do write the 3 one time. Then you have -1 minus whatever this is. -1 minus whatever this is, which is -7. Now, you got to know how to do the addition and subtraction with negative numbers. -1 minus -7, that's what we call a double negative. We call that a double negative. Minus -7 is the same thing as +7. Minus -7 is the same thing as +7. So -1 plus 7. You got to know how to do that math. And you should know how to do that mentally. No calculator, right? No calculator, none of that. No chat GPT, no ask Siri, no asking Alexa, none of that. You need to just know how to do that. -1 plus 7 is the same thing as 7 minus 1, right? You can use the commutative property. -1 plus 7 is the same thing as 7 plus -1 or 7 minus 1, which is 6. Well, think about it. On a number line, you start at -1. When you add, you move to the right. How far? 7 spaces. So -1, that means you go -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 spaces. That's where you stop at, right? So that means that this is equal to 3 to the 6th power. 3 to the 6th power. We're gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna actually expand it. We're not gonna do the 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 is 243. I mean, I guess we could do. I mean, that's 3 to the 5th, 243. 243 times 3 is 729. So we could say, I wasn't planning on doing this, but yeah, we could say it's 729. All right, but the important thing about this problem is you need to know the exponent properties. You need to know the exponent property for multiplication. You need to know the exponent property for division. And you also need to know how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers. If you don't, right, if this video has exposed you, right, there's no shame in that. That just means you know what you need to study and you know what you need to practice. So you need to go to my playlist on adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers or properties of positive and negative numbers. All right. That's what you need to do. You need to go look at some of that content and then practice adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers using a number line. Right. And there's some other ways to add and subtract too without using a number line. If you don't like the number line, if you're just one of those people, you can do that too. But all right. But anyway, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button. Like this video. Also, if there's anything I commented on that you don't understand, drop that information. Drop your question or whatever in the comment section. All right. Also, share this video with somebody. Somebody else could benefit from this. I promise you. Somebody else could benefit. Right. We see what the math scores are like, what the standardized test math scores are like out here. Somebody could definitely benefit from this. All right. And also, you don't see too many black people teaching math. So somebody could benefit from that too. All right. Representation does matter. Right. All right. So get to it. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.